Hey, welcome back to Dietitian Kitchen. We're really glad to see you. Today we are going to talk about the hierarchy of the grain. What we are essentially talking about is the range that the grain goes through different processing methods to produce different foods that you're familiar with. The optimal form of the whole food, we're generally talking about whole grains, literally whole grains, groats they're also called. So let's take a look at some of those. Well, popcorn is a whole grain, very good snack. This is going to be red hard wheat. So when you think about your whole wheat flour or even your white flour, it comes from these little grains. Kind of looks like rice, but that is called a wheat berry. Here we have one of my favorites. These are Oat Groats. So when you think about oats, normally you're thinking about them looking like this, right? Rolled oats. Or maybe you're thinking about them as steel cut. This is the original form of the oat, the whole oat. It's not processed whatsoever. This is just how it comes off of the plant. The next stage in the hierarchy of the grain is cut grains. So steel cut oats would count as cut grains. How do you do the steel cut oat? You take the oat groat and there's some steel blades that cut that groat into 3, 4, 5 pieces. So that is literally how steel cut oats are made. Another cut grain would be bulgur. Bulgur is a cracked wheat. So this bulgur, a little bit processed compared to the whole form, the wheat berry, that's where this comes from. So after cut grains, going down in the hierarchy of the grain, we have rolled oats. So how are these rolled oats made? Well, you take this whole oat groat, it gets steamed, and then it gets rolled. It's literally rolled out, and that's why they're kind of circular. You can see that this is a pressed and rolled form of this oat groat. After the rolled, normally you would see a shredded grain. So shredded wheat cereal, that would fall right about in the middle of the hierarchy of the grain. And then after that, you have the ground whole grain. So that's your flour. So here's your white flour. Here is these products. Pasta would be considered in that part of the hierarchy on the lower end. The Cheerios start here with these little wheat grains. So you can see that's a lot of stages of processing that the whole grain goes through. And through that processing, you lose a lot of the benefits, the nutritional benefits of the whole grain. We're gonna look at just these basic rolled oats. Everyone knows these rolled oats. I got these in bulk, Quaker, any generic store brand, just fine, perfect, and very affordable food. I think it's about 79 cents a pound. And we're gonna make this a very traditional way with water. I'm gonna put half a cup of water in. We're gonna bring that to a boil, and then I'm gonna add these oats. These ripe frozen bananas will serve as our natural sweetener with added fiber. Okay, we are all done with the oatmeal. Sometimes the frozen bananas don't defrost, they're still a little bit hard. So what I'll do is handy dandy masher and just mash those bananas a little bit. We'll add the protein, some flavor, a little bit of fat with some peanut butter. This is just fresh grind peanut butter. That's available at Winco, available at the co-op. There's nothing in this peanut butter except peanuts. So that's notable because if you look at the labels of peanut butter, it's like cottonseed oil, palm oil. What? Why you have all that oil in there? Why? Because it's spreadable. So that's like the way they get you. It's convenient, but you don't really need or want all those additives. So we're gonna put this delicious mixture in the bowl. Now we gotta dress it up. So I did see that the kiwi were on sale, so I chopped up some kiwi and put that in there. And then I thought I would show how to work with this apple in kind of a different way. So get out that handy hand grater and grate that apple. This just creates a different texture in your mouth as you're eating this. And when you have those multiple varied textures in a dish, it really adds to the appeal. So take that apple. Oh yeah, so juicy. It's going to incorporate really well. A serving of chia seed is about a tablespoon, so I'll eye that out. Give that a taste. Got peanut butter, apple, oats, kiwi, chia, banana. So let's try this. Now we are going to do another breakfast option using not an intact whole grain, but a cut whole grain, and that's the bulgur. A cup of fruit with oatmeal, perfect serving. Half a cup of the soy milk, and just heated it up. Look at this beautiful, it's like delicious. Here is the bulgur grain, which we reactivated just with boiling water and letting it soak for about 15 minutes. That's our serving size, half a cup cooked. So we're gonna put this right on top. And this is a whole grain breakfast cereal. This is another option instead of oats. Cook a batch of it, have it on hand in the fridge, and then you just assemble. I would normally probably put a little bit of maple syrup in here. That's an alternative to dates. You could do dates too. That's about a tablespoon. That's gonna be perfect. And I think this is just really simple as it is. You can use whatever fruit you wanted. This is another grain option and another sweetener option. If you don't want to do the dates, you can do the maple syrup. The fruit, of course, is naturally sweet. So let's try this. Let's see how good this is. I know it's going to be good. So good. It's kind of like having like a granola bar or kind bar, something kind of nutty and fruity. It's really good. It's going to be super healthy, so brace yourselves. This is not going to be your standard oatmeal. We are going to put some white cannellini beans in there, and that's going to be for the protein and for the fiber. Put that half a cup in there in a saucepan. I'm going to use this soy milk, which I love. Put half a cup of that in there. Okay, I'm going to mash it. This is a really good kitchen tool. A cup of frozen blueberries. Always good. Whole oat groat, right? Remember these? And I cooked these earlier. And they take a little while to cook on the stove. So I say for the oat groats, probably about 45 minutes. So I'm gonna put half a cup of those cooked grains in there. And that's a serving, half a cup. Okay, and I'm gonna put this on the stove and heat it up. Our oatmeal's done. Now let's dress it up. It is purple and berries. So I chopped up 2 of these dates here. These are very sweet. They also have a lot of fiber, and we know that fiber helps mitigate your blood sugars when you have something sweet, as it does with any whole fruit. So, so good. And then I have a little bit of ground flaxseed. This is for fiber and for omega-3 fatty acids. Put a little bit of that in there. And then I have some chia seeds, also the same, fiber and omega-3 fatty acids. Okay. I may or may not add a little extra soy milk to it. It looks pretty good. I don't think I would in this case. All right, so let's give this a try. It's very good. Thanks so much for being here today. That was really fun and delicious. And let's review. Why whole grains? Why not instant oatmeal, for example? Each step of the hierarchy of grain that you go down indicates more processing of the whole food of the grain. And what the processing does is slightly degrade the nutritional value, for example, the fiber in the food. That's why we want to stick to whole foods, whole grains like oat groats. These are good, but it's good just to be aware of the process and the effect of the processing on the nutritional value of the food. So for that reason, I always recommend whole food, plant-based diet as much as you can. So just imagine having some of this oatmeal with your cup of coffee. I'll look forward to hearing from you. Please leave comments and let us know what's your favorite way to have a whole grain breakfast cereal. Look forward to it. Thanks.